No, I've never done a video of instruction. I wish I had a real basketball to do this. I might have to buy basketball again, man. I used to have like three. Um, I still have one. The others, I'm not sure where they are. They might be at a dump. They might be in a gym somewhere. And they actually might return to my house. And that miracle happens someday. That's going to be amazing. Or show up here in this new house. So I'm thinking basic instructions for the simplest thing I know was I was mostly more of a shooting guard. You know, I admit I have very weak skills as a point guard. I can be good sometimes, but my left hand dribble was never easy to do. I didn't have the best crossover. Not so good at behind the back, through the legs moves. Bounce passes weren't so good sometimes. I wasn't a full time player, varsity national championship like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, or whatever those guys are, Jerry West, Yao Ming. But the jump shot's pretty simple. Anybody can do it. I just think it's for family play and exercise. So the standard jump shot is usually your strong hand, which for most people is right. Some people it's left. But actually, it's nice to shoot with the other hand sometimes, and sometimes that gives you advantage. You can get an angle that's easier on the left side. And your first hand, or your strong hand, is your lifting, pushing hand. I recommend that you shoot up, especially when you got a player defending you, um, trying to block you. Even if you get in that habit, it helps. Now, if you have a flatter shot, the shot might save some time, but the higher arc shot is to get over your defender. Now, it's also described as a fadeaway, so you can combine it with like a lean back fadeaway shot. And then your other hand is like a guy that pushes the ball too, but keeps it on the trajectory or projection. And then one tip that always worked, if you, Mark Skinner pointed it out to me, but my father pointed this out to me too, is you point to the basket, you aim with your pointer finger. That helps. So, and then when you play more formally, there's a 3 point line. Some courts don't have a 3 point line. So you have to position your feet behind that line, not on the line, and your shoes. So if you're used, when you set up your feet for the shot, you gotta put your feet in the right place. And you can actually lean over and your body could be, and the ball could be physically over the line. As long as your feet are there, which is kind of a weird rule. There's no partial credit like a 2.5 pointer or something. Someday the points will be that complicated. It'll be like an infinite decimal after the damn shot. It's gonna be horrible. It's a 2.973 shot, and I'm like, wait a minute. Can we even see that? It's like a little millimeter thing at the bottom, but the simpler rules are easier. So most of the time I relied on my 3 point specialty long range shooting. It actually saves you energy, so you have more energy on defense. Saves time too. Because the time to back somebody down or drive in, if you're not so good at that, is gonna eat up a lot of time. So, and if you're really good at creating space, like Jeff Van Gundy said about Reggie Miller, and then being able to catch and shoot, and have like a smooth, high arcing shot, then in high percentage you can get, really good at that and actually make it a small career. If you can't, if a team doesn't pick you up professional, but it's real tough competition, those guys are real strong and fast, and you can make your own league. just for fun. Beat the commissioner, you know, be a coach and like a player sometimes, you know. And you know, there's actually more points than three. You know, in football, I think they go up to 6 points. You could do like a full court shot for 6 points, half court for three, or 4 or 5. So it'd be interesting to see that someday. Actually have like yard lines on a basketball court and different points depending on how far you are. That would really increase the point totals and then make it interesting. But I know sometimes it'd be hard to call it, especially with the clock, shot clock, and the whole standing on the line thing. If the line was thinner, that's one thing that always got me. You know, the line's just thick so that we can see it. But if the line was only like a quarter inch, I think most people's feet would be behind the line. So, and then if you got partial credit, let's say you're on the line, but you get half a point off, or I don't know, what would be fair? So, and then playing 1 point all the time is kind of interesting. That seems like the fair sometimes. No matter where you shoot, it's all 1 point. So that would make free throws worth more. So kind of deflate the point value. Like in soccer, you know, the points, no matter how the distance is always 1. So that does make it simpler. Maybe that's better. Sometimes it'll be fun to play that way. So I kind of like to see that in a basketball game. I think in some games there's like a street ball Genesis game. I'm trying to remember. You know, that's pretty fun to play. Actually, I might be able to sneak that in right now. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see. I gotta remember where things are. I got a lot of stuff that I've saved. So here we go. Sega Genesis. I use it in software called Fusion. I tried to use this BizHawk one, but I think there was an error that I haven't fixed. Or at least this version might not work as good. It might work okay on like Windows 7 or XP or something. Interestingly, there's now a list of recently loaded ROMs, so you gotta go through the File Explorer. And I forgot. Oh, there's Duke Nukem in here. I didn't realize that. There's another game that's kind of like Duke Nukem, which is kind of interesting. I just found that. But there is a... God, what was the name of that? Keep thinking it starts with the letter C. Here, we're gonna go through all this. Aquatic. This is actually a pack of, from a torrent. You know, these games play close, but not exactly our console run sometimes. Sometimes it almost feels exactly the same. I don't have the convenience of a controller. And I'm used to playing on the keyboard. So I actually, most of the time, always had a computer with me. Cliffhanger. Comics. Comics is pretty interesting. Cyberball. What is that? I can't remember. Wait a minute, there's a list in here. Jammit, that's the game. See, I wrote a note, thank God. Thought it was started with letter C, but actually it starts with letter J. Okay. is after J. There you go, Jammit. So this is one. You know, if you like this, you can send money to the company, though they're all wealthy. But you can also buy the original cartridge too. So, and then get a license for this, which I do have a license. So I'll show it to you someday. I'll notice in the beginning of this. It runs in a window this small. See, there's only like 3 characters. Well, she's 6'1". Oh, okay. So there's Roxy and there's 2 other players here. So we go. The enter key. I've been trying to figure out where the keys are, but it's not listed here either. Enter key is the start. And then arrow keys control. And then I think A, S, and D are the main A, B, C, D, or A, B, C controllers. I usually go to 1 player. There's only 3 players there. You get Chill, Roxy, and Slade. That's like the most unique names. I'm gonna try to play Slade. Let's see. I haven't tried it yet. The different cut through it sounds bad. I'll try 1-on-1. And then you can bet how much. Like you have to pick increments of like 100. You only got 300. So I'm gonna do 100. Come on, sucker! Oh, I got through the legs. I just push them. Oh. Well, they go out of bounds too, which is good. You can actually block this guy if you can get. Oh. Get out of here! You'll lose! Oh, so I blocked it. You gotta take it back. Oh, he got it for me. Come on! How realistic it's really hard when shoots in here. There you go. Oh, this is a really fun game that Come on, sucker! You actually gotta hit the A button twice to shoot. Did he miss? He missed like 3 times. Foul. Come on, sucker! You'll lose! Go! Yeah, as you push him out, you get back, he slides across the court. Oh, and then he just missed the ball. Oh, I dunked it. That's it. So if you want to check that game out, you can watch the videos of it or download Fusion and get the just get the 1 ROM if you want. That's easier. Called Jammit. All right. Thanks for the producers of that game. I own this copy of the game now. I even put my name on the title screen later on. All right. Thanks everybody. We'll see you in the next video and hope you enjoyed some of that basketball information.